Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
We'll head to the future later this hour with an episode of X-1, but right now, comedy, an episode of the Dean Martin, Jerry Lewis Show. This originally broadcast June 9th, 1953, and Dean and Jerry's special guest this hour is actress Phyllis Thaxter.
The Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis Show. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to bring you our master of ceremonies, Dean Martin.
Thank you. Well, it's time for another meeting to come to order. There's lots of laughter and music on the agenda for tonight, and as soon as I pick up my trusty gavel and rap on my partner Jerry's wooden head, the business will begin. Lots of people ask me if success has gone to my partner's head. Well, it hasn't. Even though Jerry can afford a chauffeur, he drives himself. Even though he can afford to go to a barber, he shaves himself. And today, he's the happiest guy in the world.
I just learned how to dress myself.
Haven't you met this Jerry Lewis? Well, what's the matter, Jerry? You look kind of serious today.
I'm glad you recognized it, Dean. I do have a serious announcement to make. Ladies and gentlemen, before Dean and I start cutting up, I'd like to remind you that starting Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, animal lovers everywhere are celebrating National Be Kind to Worm Week. Yes, my dear listeners, remember, the next time you eat an apple, please be careful. You may be biting into a friend.
Jerry's right. In this case, half a friend is worse than none.
Dean, please restrain your levity. This is quite important. Friends, when you go fishing and you put the worm on the hook, also put on a lit candle. Who knows? It may be some little fishy's birthday.
Now, why don't you stop wasting time with that stuff? You find the strangest pets to worry about.
Maybe so, but I'm certainly worried about Lydia.
Who's Lydia? Who's Lydia?
My pet centipede. And Dean, she's expecting.
You mean?
Yes, any day now she's going to have another leg.
Oh. Well, I hope she wears it in good health. Jerry, we've got a show to do. Why didn't you show up for rehearsal?
I was at my lawyer's. I spent 3 hours making out my won't.
Your won't? You mean you made out your will?
No, my won't. This is a list of people that won't get nothing.
Oh, and whom are you wanting out of your will?
My father for making me go without supper.
That's no reason. Lots of fathers make their kids go without supper.
For 9 years?
No. 9 years without supper?
Yes, every night he used to give me a dime for going to bed without supper, and I put it under my pillow.
You did?
Yeah, but every night while I was asleep, he would make some excuse to Mother and tiptoe up to my room.
And your daddy had a change of heart. He brought you food.
No, he swiped the dime.
No!
Yeah, and in the morning he made me go without breakfast for losing the money.
Just you wait a minute. There's one thing I don't understand. Jay, how did your mother permit you to go without your supper for so long?
Oh, she didn't, Dean. In the middle of the night, she used to sneak into my room and leave a bowl of fruit.
And you ate the fruit?
That I did, and it was delicious. The finest wax I ever tasted.
You ate waxed fruit? Didn't it make you sick?
No, but every once in a while, my face used to break out.
In rashes?
No, candles.
Oh. Well, at least your mother had good intentions. I hope you're not cutting her out of your won't.
Hardly. I'm leaving Mom my most valuable possession, my pearl-handled letter opener. I never used it.
Why not?
No one ever sent me any pearl-handled letter.
But are you really leaving nothing to your father in your will?
You don't understand, Dean. Dad has warehouses in every major city in the country.
What does he keep in these warehouses?
Chicken fat.
Chicken fat?
Someday Dad's going to be rich.
Oh, whom does he plan to sell all this chicken fat to?
Skinny chicken!
Well, obviously, your father needs nothing from you. He's the Howard Hughes of the chicken fat business.
Yeah, I'm going to leave most of my money to my sister Seal.
You have a sister Seal?
We just call her Seal for short. Her whole name is Imbecile.
Sounds like Seal could use some of your father's chicken fat there.
Well, Seal deserves a break. Seal really deserves a break. If you knew Seal, you'd agree. She deserves a break. She's had oodles of trouble. You see, her husband spent 20 years building a boat in an aspirin bottle, and when he finally finished, he couldn't get out.
But, despite all this trouble, Seal was brave.
Yeah, she kept a stiff upper lip.
She did?
She had to. She had teeth like a walrus.
Tell me, Jerry, why did you suddenly decide to make out your will? Don't you feel well?
Oh, I feel sterling. Positively sterling.
Then why did you go to your lawyers all of a sudden?
Dean Martin, haven't you seen today's paper?
No, why?
Well, there was a big article that the world's coming to an end in 5 million years.
Why'd you make out your will today?
I'm not one who waits till the last minute.
June 9th, 1953, Dean Martin, Jerry Lewis on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
You ever make a change and then think, why didn't I do this years ago? Well, that's how people feel about switching to Medishare for their health care, especially now with inflation the way it is. People are very happy with the savings. Most families save about $500 a month when they switch. It's a huge help when prices are going up so fast in so many other areas. And Medishare's customer satisfaction rate is double that of health insurance. It's just a different experience, and people really like that. Medishare is an alternative to health insurance. It's a community of Christians who share each other's healthcare bills, and it's been going strong for over 25 years. It really is the gold standard, the most trusted name in healthcare sharing. Find out why people love it, find out why they rave about the customer service, and find out how good it feels to save some money right now. They're super easy to talk to. Here's the number, 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE, 833-34-BIBLE.
If you're like me, the name Phyllis Thaxter didn't mean much to you. Probably best known for portraying Martha Kent in the 1978 Superman movie. Also Ellen Lawson in the 1944 movie 30 Seconds Over Tokyo. Probably her best known appearances, and a prominent member of the prominent Schuyler family. So that gives you an idea of a little bit about her, the thumbnail sketch, if you will. Back to Dean Martin, Jerry Lewis, The Martin and Lewis Show, June 9th, 1953.
Our picture of the Stooges is still playing all over the country.
Yeah, and I want to thank everybody who wrote telling us how much they enjoyed it.
Yeah, do that.
Okay, thanks, Ma.
Of course, if you haven't seen the picture, it's still not too late.
Oh, it's hardly too late. In Africa, it's playing at the Loews Tarzan. The reservation's called 1346.
Oh, Jerry, please.
In Alaska, it may still be seen at Fox's Igloo. It's a drive-in theater. Dogs admitted free if accompanied by a sled.
Oh, Jerry.
So if you want to see the picture, mush on down. And on the way in, pick up a bag of hot buttered blubber.
Please, Jerry, I'm trying to tell the audience that due to the success of the Stooges, we decided to produce our own picture. Of course, that requires a lot of money.
Oh, our troubles are over, Dean. Is that clear? I talked to a friend of mine, and he gave me this check for $10 million.
Oh, but Jerry, the signature on this check isn't very clear.
Naturally, it ain't easy to write when you're wearing a straitjacket.
Well, the bankers told me that there'll be no problem getting the money for the picture if we sign up a leading lady with lots of experience.
I've got just that one, Dean, my girl. I discussed the entire matter with her last night when we were parked up on Ocean Drive.
Does she have experience?
She does now.
Oh. Yeah, I think my choice for the part is a better one. And I've invited her here tonight to discuss the picture. Ladies and gentlemen, there are some artists whose performances you can never forget. They make a big part bigger and a small role outstanding. Such an artist is our guest this evening. She's capable, she's talented, she's a director's dream, Miss Phyllis Thaxter.
Thank you, Mr. Martin.
Oh, it's our pleasure to have you here, Miss Thaxter. I'd like you to meet my partner, Mr. Lewis.
Oh, Mr. Lewis. I think I've seen you before. Was it in Switzerland skiing or the Riviera yachting?
No, it was out in the alley spitting.
Jerry, you're talking to a very refined and important young lady. Miss Thaxter happens to be listed in the book Who's Who.
Big deal. It so happens that I got my name in a certain book, too.
What's that?
You guessed it.
Don't mind him, Miss Thaxter. You see, success has turned his head.
I thought he had it on backwards.
Yes.
See here, Miss Thaxter, I resent that. Is that clear? Resent it. Resent it. Oh, do I resent that? Take another look, and just so happens my head is on perfectly straight.
Sorry.
My body's on backwards.
Oh, hush, Jerry. Phyllis. Jerry and I would like to have you in the 3D picture we're producing.
Yeah, we're using the curved screen.
But why did you pick me?
We wanted a curved girl.
Yeah.
Well, that's very flattering, but my figure is only run-of-the-mill.
Well, I sure would like to be the guy who runs that mill.
About that picture, fellas, before we go any further, I'd like to know what the story is.
Oh, it's a great story. Jerry wrote it himself.
Yes, Miss Thaxter. It's the story of a man lawyer who's in love with a woman lawyer. And they live at her father's house, and he's also a lawyer. Another lady tries to break them up. She's a lawyer. But a lawyer friend of theirs straightens out the whole thing, and they have 3 children who all grow up to be lawyers.
What's the name of the picture?
Young Dr. Malone.
In this picture, I played the part of a handsome accountant. Women go crazy for me, but I toss them aside.
In this picture, who gets me?
I do.
How come?
I watch what side he tosses them.
That sounds most intriguing. Fellas, I might be interested in working with you if you had a truly dramatic story when I can really tear people's hearts out.
Oh, you're in luck, Phyllis. We've just got such a story for tonight. Fenneman?
Yes, Dean.
Start tearing the people's hearts out.
All right, Dean. Ladies and gentlemen.
Yes?
The Gosh, they're peachy keen players. Present Dean Martin, Jerry Lewis, and Phyllis Thaxter in a stark drama that they dared Hollywood to make. It is the pitiful tale of a paroled convict, an ex-murderer, who couldn't hold a job because of his one little mistake. A man who in desperation was driven to drink. Entitled...
I'm a convict. My number's 9999. It's really 6666, but I like to walk around on my hands.
I'm Mrs. 9999. I haven't seen my husband in 30 years. I'm 27 years old. I married very young.
I'm a cellmate. All day long I lie in my upper bunk and dream of getting out. And it ain't easy. There is no upper bunk.
I can't stand this prison any longer. All I ever serve is this coffee.
What's so bad about that?
No spoons. I'm going stir crazy.
You sure must be anxious to get out of here, kiddo. For the last 6 years, you've been marking off the days on that calendar.
Yeah, and time sure drags.
Why, what day is it today?
The 14th of Marilyn Monroe.
Kid, listen to me. We'll break out of here. I'll take you into my mob. You heard of the famous purple gang that hijacks booze?
You're with them?
No, I'm with the green gang.
The green gang? What do they hijack?
Chlorophyll.
No, breaking out, that's not for me. Today I'm going home. Home to my Mary. Mary!
John.
Mary!
John.
John!
Mary.
Neither of us had changed. We were still crazy, mixed-up kids. Mary?
Yes, John.
I haven't seen you in 70 years, and somehow you look different.
In what way, John?
You're wearing a new dress. Right?
No, John. It's the same one I've been wearing for 70 years.
Well, if you won't change it, at least dust it. It's very unsanitary.
John, you're home at last. Come, sit here next to me.
Oh, Mary, it's nice sitting in the same old living room in front of the same old roaring fire.
Yes, it is.
You know, sometimes I wish we had a fireplace.
John, you will go straight now, won't you? You won't go back to your evil companion.
No, I'll never go back to my evil companion. Who is it?
It is I, your evil companion.
Come in, Eve.
Pal, I've come here to take you into the mob like I promised. We just gone into the cold car racket.
You mean the hot car racket?
Oh, cold. We steal good humor trucks.
No. Is that clear?
Kid, you're coming with our mob, and we ain't taking no for an answer. You remember Rocky tried saying no, and he was taken down to the winery and pushed into the wine press?
Poor Rocky, he's gone.
Yeah, you'll find him at your market, listed under Muscatel.
Old grapes of wrath.
You'll never get away from me, pal. I'll follow you, trail you, track you down, you old hound dog. Never let you have a minute's peace. Gee, I'm such a fink.
Mary, it's no use. The mob will never let me alone. They'll hound me. Is that clear? Just like they hounded Muggsy, Lefty, Blackie, Wheelie, Turby, and Stavey. Just like they hounded Sam Middledorfer.
Who's Sam Middledorfer?
The kid in the parking lot. If I mention his name on the air, he don't scratch my fenders. Yellow.
Hello, John. This is the parole officer. I called to wish you a happy birthday.
There you go, hounding me.
But I only wanted to wish you a happy birthday.
I know, but I hound so easily.
Buddy, throw in with us and you won't have to live in a dump like this. Look, there's a hole in the roof and the rain is leaking in.
Oh, a plumber can fix that tomorrow.
And there's a leak in the sink. The water's dripping through.
Oh, a plumber can fix that tomorrow.
See, pal, your poor wife's crying. The tears are rolling down her cheeks.
Looks like the plumber's gonna have a big day tomorrow, huh?
No more stalling, kid. You're coming with us, or I'll use my little persuader.
Pal, put down that revolver.
None done, chum. Now where do you want the bullet?
Does it make any difference to you?
No.
Then leave it in a gun.
Only if you come with it.
No, John. Before I see you become a fink again, I'd rather you were back in jail.
I won't go back to jail. Never. Is that clear? Never. Never go back. I won't.
Why not?
Never. Two more. Never.
Why not?
Because they hound me. Always hound me. They hound me. Is that clear?
Man, when he gets hold of the line, he never lets go.
But, John, prison couldn't be that bad. You wrote that you had a good job in jail as a warden chauffeur.
Good job. Ha! I couldn't stand being a warden chauffeur. When he wanted to go to town, I had to take him. When he wanted to go to Washington, I had to take him. On his vacation, when he wanted to travel around the country, I had to take him.
What's so bad about that?
He didn't have a car. I carried him piggyback.
You know, you have a certain something that very few men have.
Well, thanks, Phyllis. You hear that, Jerry?
Big deal. I once danced with Rita Hayworth, and she told me that she had been out with a lot of men, but I had a certain something that none of them had.
Really, Jerry?
Yeah. Dean.
Yes, Jerry.
What's asthma?
Look, Jerry. Stop telling people you got asthma.
But I haven't. I also have bronchitis. Neuritis, rheumatism, and beriberi. I'm very healthy.
Well, before I catch some of your health, I'd better get out of here.
Well, Phyllis, we can't let you go before we get a chance to tell you how nice it was to have you with us.
Yes, many thanks for being such a charming guest and such a good sport. Please ring our doorbell again soon, Phyllis.
That I will. And good night, Dean and Jerry. Good night, all.
Good night,
Phyllis. So until next week, this is Dean Martin.
And this is Jerry Lewis saying good night, everybody.
Good night, all.
From Hollywood, you've just heard transcribed the Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis Show. Produced and directed by Dick Mack. Written by Arthur Phillips and Austin Kalish. With music prepared and conducted by Dick Stabile.
June 9th, 1957, Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis. Coming up next half hour.
Countdown for blast off. X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X minus 1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million, could be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents X minus 1.
X-1 coming up after this break for your favorite station on Classic Radio Theater.
Radio? Why should I advertise on radio? There's nothing to look at, no pictures.
Listen, you can do things on radio you couldn't possibly do on TV.
That'll be the day.
All right, watch this. Okay, people, and now when I give you the cue, I want the 700-foot mountain of whipped cream to roll into Lake Michigan, which has been drained and filled with hot chocolate. Then the Royal Canadian Air Force will fly overhead towing a 10-ton maraschino cherry, which will be dropped into the whipped cream to the cheering of 25,000 extras. All right, cue the mountain. Cue the Air Force. Cue the maraschino cherry. Okay, 25,000 cheering extras. Now, you want to try that on television?
Well...
You see, radio is a very special medium because it stretches the imagination.
Doesn't television stretch the imagination?
Up to 27 inches, yes.
She was born in a humble shack amidst the lemon groves of Goleta, California.
Mommy, don't cry. You know what they say?
When life gives you lemons, make lemonade.
I was going to say life sucks, and then you die. But I like yours better.
And with that, Alexandra Johnson launched her lemonade stand.
Lemonade, nickel a glass.
Every day, even during the frigid California winters, a bone-chilling 72 degrees, you could find her.
You can have a sour, you can have a sweet. Little girl's lemonade will knock you off your feet.
The little girl with the sour brew wanted more, national distribution, franchises, and so she rolled out a well-budgeted advertising campaign.
Me and the rest of the dockworkers only drink little girl lemonade.
She was made president of the International Sour Drink Association and chosen to give the keynote speech at their convention.
You all set with words of wisdom, honey?
You know what they say, Mommy.
Always advertise so consumers think of your product first.
I was going to say never swallow a lemon seed or a watermelon on your tummy.
This fabricated but interesting story is to remind you that it's called advertising and it works.
Put your message on this national advertising platform by emailing classicradiotheater@gmail.com. classicradiotheater@gmail.com. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, a story of the future, X-1, June 9th, 1957.
We go forward in time to the days when war has been outlawed, and in its place, there is a system of carefully controlled, legalized murder. The story, The Seventh Victim, by Robert Sheckley.
Is that the mail, Jenny? Bring it right in.
No, it isn't the mail. You anxious, Stan?
Well, you know how it is when you're waiting for notification. It's been 2 weeks. The government's behind schedule, as usual.
Oh, that's always the way it is. Now, when you get to be my age, you won't worry about it anymore. At 73, you can afford to wait for the mail. Well, how about the ad? Have you got it done?
Sure, E.J. Want me to play it back for you? Of course, I recorded it myself. We'll have an actor in for the actual recording. You ready?
Go ahead.
Hi there, neighbor. When you're in a crowd, when you're among strangers, do you feel safe? Are you protected by that vital underarm area? You aren't unless you own a Protect suit. The finest tailoring in the world has gone into a Morger and Freeline Protect suit to make it the leader in men's fashion. Protect suit is the safest as well as the smartest. Every Protect suit comes with special built-in gun pocket, guaranteed not to bulge.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
A touch of the concealed button throws the gun into your hand, cocked, safety off. Why not drop into the Protect store nearest you? Why not be all safe?
Oh, that's fine, Stan. That's fine. That's a very nice, dignified commercial. And you can relax. I picked up the mail just before I came in. Here's your notification.
That's it. Look, from the ECB. That's the baby.
Oh, you're not going to open it now.
Oh, no, of course not. No one is supposed to know the victim's name except the hunter.
That's right. Have a good hunt, boy. You need a kill. You've been all keyed up.
Well, it's too bad you have to retire, E.J.
Well, I got into the 10s club. 10 hunts. That's not such a bad record.
10 hunts, of course not. 10 hunts, and then, of course, victim in between. That's 20 kills.
Mm-hmm.
I sure hope my victim isn't anyone like you.
Don't worry about it. What number will this be?
My 7th.
Oh, lucky 7. Go to it. We'll get you into the 10s club yet. By the way, I got a circular in the mail. Maybe you'd like to use it.
Maybe. Victims, why take chances? Use an O'Donovan accredited spotter. Let us locate your assigned killer. Pay after you get him. Oh, well, thanks a lot, E.J., but I've got my own spotter. Very good fella.
Well, I suppose you're anxious to get home, open up, and find out who your victim is.
What's that?
Oh, shooting down the hall. I guess somebody got his victim. Good for him, eh?
You bet. Oh, it feels wonderful, E.J. I feel alive again.
Morrow's Garage.
Hello, Ed. Freeline.
Oh, hi, Mr. Freeline.
I'm going out on one, Ed.
Wow. Good luck, Mr. Freeline. I suppose you want me to stand by.
Yeah, that's right. I don't expect to be gone more than a week or two. I'll probably get my notification of victim status within 3 months of the kill.
Well, I'll be standing by. Good hunting, Mr. Freeline.
You'll be sure to save time for me now, Ed. I'd hate to be caught as a victim without a first-class spotter on my side, huh?
Oh, now, don't you worry, Mr. Freeline. I'll be right there in your corner. I've got a couple of good ideas for an ambush that I haven't tried yet.
Good. Well, I'll get back in touch with you right after the kill. So long.
Oh, Mr. Freeline?
What are you doing in my apartment?
Allow me my card. Emmanuel Gale, Emotional Catharsis Bureau.
What do you want from me?
Oh, just a standard spot check in reorientation. Oh, I see you've got your notification.
Yeah, that's right. I haven't opened it yet. Do you mind?
No, go right ahead. Yes. Anything wrong, Mr. Freeline? I mean, everything there. Photographs, address, description data.
Yes, but it says Janet Marie Patzig. Janet Marie? I've never killed a female. Is this an order?
Well, just a moment till I check my list. Yes, that's right. The girl registered with the board under her own free will. The law says she has the same rights and privileges as a man.
Could you tell me how many kills she has?
Well, I'm sorry, sir, but the only information you're allowed is the victim's legal status and the descriptive data that you've received.
Could I draw another?
Well, you can refuse the hunt, of course. That's your legal right, but you'll not be allowed another victim until you have served.
Women, always trying to horn in on a man's game. Why can't they stay home? Just doesn't seem feminine. Look, Gail, do you mind if I start packing?
Oh, no. Go right ahead. If you like, you can give me the historical checkout while you pack, and I'll just tick it off here on my list.
Well, all right. Where do you want me to start?
Let's see. Question 1, I think. When was the Emotional Catharsis Board established?
Well, the board was formed at the end of the Fourth World War or the 6th. Depends on if you count the new Argentina War.
Well, either count will do. Go ahead.
Well, let's see. Weapons increased in magnitude, efficiency, and exterminating power. Soldiers became accustomed to them, and it looked as if another war would be the war to end all wars. Would you hand me those shirts, please?
Oh, yes, of course.
So, this time, the peace had to last for all time, but the government recognized the presence of a need for violence in a large percentage of mankind. They recognized the validity of competition, love of battle in the face of overwhelming odds, and these, they felt, were admirable traits for the race. So, their problem was to arrange a lasting peace that would stop the race from destroying itself without removing responsible traits. I'll just get a new toothbrush in New York.
Very good, very good. All right, Mr. Freeline. Now, if you could run down the basic rule.
Well, anyone who wants to signs up with ECB for a fine, legal murder. Then, of course, he has to take his turn a few months later, if he survives. The Emotional Catharsis Board picks the victims' names at random. A hunter is allowed 6 months to make his kill.
Armament?
Yeah. He's allowed to use a standard caliber pistol. He can wear no armor. Victim is allowed to wear armor and is allowed to hire spotters.
Very good, very good. Now, we don't have to go over the penalties for killing or wounding the wrong man. I'm sure you know all that. Oh, it's a beautiful system, isn't it? All the people who want to kill can, and that's about 1/4 of the population. Those who don't want to don't have to. At least there aren't any more big wars, just hundreds of thousands of small ones. All right, Mr. Freeline, you're checked out for orientation.
All the same, I don't exactly like the idea of killing a woman. But she did sign up, didn't she?
Yeah, that's right.
Janet Patzig in New York. Well, I'll be taking one of our Protect Suit specials. Have you seen one of these, Mr. Gale? When I actuate the mechanism, watch how fast the gun springs out at the ready.
Oh, excellent. It's excellent.
Strange, isn't it, Mr. Gale? Each killing is a new excitement. It's something you just don't tire of, like a French pastry or women or drinking or anything else.
Yeah.
Let's see, there. I guess that's it. Now a note for the milkman, and that's about all. Well, I'll be getting along, Mr. Gale.
Oh, and good hunting, Mr. Freeline.
Where to, Chief?
Carlton Hotel.
Carlton, you bet. Just get into town?
Is it that noticeable?
I've been picking up from the airport for maybe 10 years. I can spot an out-of-town killer by the way he carries his suitcase.
You wouldn't be working as a spotter, would you?
Oh, no. The Hack Bureau don't like it. This isn't your first kill, I can tell.
Yeah?
Yeah, guys on their first kill get too anxious. They want to drive right to the victim's address, walk right into an ambush. I'd say you had maybe 5, 6...
7.
7? Well, you haven't got too long to go before you get into the Tens Club.
You ever been hunting?
Nah, I can't afford it.
Look, I'll tell you what. If you can just drive me around the Chelsea area, I'd just like to look at the streets.
Aha, that's where your victim hangs out, huh? Sure, be glad to. You know what you ought to do, Mac? You ought to drop in at the Hunter hunting show at the Coliseum. They got everything. Bulletproof vests for victims, hats with bulletproof crowns. I seen an ad for a Malvern straight shot ECB approved. Carried a load of 12 shots with a deviation of less than 1,000th inch per 1,000 feet.
Oh, it sounds like a fine gun.
And they got all kinds of trick things. You know, canes with 4-shot magazines, 45 caliber flashlights, all kinds of things.
Oh, those kind of novelties are all right for the first time, but the old-fashioned ways are the best.
Hey, look at that. Somebody got it.
I missed it.
Nothing to see now. In about 4 minutes, the guys from the Department of Sanitation will carry away the corpse.
Yeah.
Well, this is the neighborhood, Chief. You want to give me the address?
No, I'll just drive around.
Okay, you're paying the meter.
The conclusion of X-1, June 9th, 1957, follows these important messages.
Are you suffering with arthritis or osteoporosis? Do you have diabetes? Did you know that these are just 2 of the hundreds of diseases that have seen improvement with Dr. Wallach's incredible longevity products? You can't get them at a health food store. The only way to get them is to call us at 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. Do you have heart disease, fibromyalgia, or high blood pressure? Do you have a terrible time losing weight? Dr. Wallach can help. He was a veterinarian and cured diseases in animals. He felt that he could do the same for humans, so he became a physician. Over 50 years of research and helping people like you goes into every bottle of Dr. Wallach's amazing discoveries. Do you want to feel better? Learn how to treat the cause of your problem rather than covering up the symptoms with drugs. Call 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, the conclusion of X-1, the seventh victim, June 9th, 1957.
Now, wait a minute.
What is it, Chief?
There. That sidewalk cafe, you see?
Yeah, shall I stop?
No, just drive slowly. There she is. Sitting at a table.
You mean the victim is a dame?
Yeah, she's just sitting there. She crazy, exposing herself in the open?
Boy, that's sure no way to stay healthy. Not when you're a victim.
Drive around the block.
Okay.
Well, she looks younger than her pictures. She looks sad. Wonder if she's been notified.
Well, she's got to be notified, Chief. They can't send you your notice until her signed receipt gets back to the office. It's automatic.
That's right. Isn't she even going to try to defend herself?
Doesn't look like it. Here we come again. She's still there.
All I have to do is just ride by in a cab and pump a bullet into her.
Okay, Chief, I'll go real slow. You be sure to allow for the motion of the car.
No. Park across the street.
Sure.
Both her hands are on top of the table. An easy, stationary target. All I gotta do is...
Say, that's some gadget. Hey, remember to roll down a window before you shoot that gun, huh?
Nah, it's an easy shot. It's too easy.
Look, mister, hurry up, will you? If a cop comes along and finds you shooting out of my cab, he'll give me a ticket for double parking.
No, it's too easy. All my other 6 kills have been hard. My victims have tried every dodge. One of them hired a dozen spotters. I got them all. I dressed as a milkman.
Hey, that's pretty clever.
This wouldn't be a trophy. Here, put your flag up. I'm getting out.
Okay.
Going over to talk to her.
She's your victim.
I know. It's too easy this way. Hello?
What?
Hey, look, if I'm being fresh, just tell me and I'll go. I'm an out-of-towner here on a convention. I'd just like to talk to somebody. If you'd rather I didn't.
Oh, I don't care.
May I sit down? Like to buy you a drink, if I can?
I don't care.
My name is Stanton Freeline.
I'm Janet.
Janet what?
Janet Patzik.
Well, nice to know you. Are you doing anything tonight, Janet?
I'm probably being killed tonight.
Oh, are you a victim?
You guessed it. If I were you, I'd stay out of the way. No sense getting hit by mistake.
Well, you're awfully calm about it. Don't you care? Haven't you got any spotters?
No. Mr. Freeline, I'm a bad, bad girl.
Huh?
I got the idea I'd like to commit a murder, so I signed for ECB. Then I couldn't do it.
Oh, I am sorry.
But I'm still in, of course, even though I didn't shoot. I still have to be a victim.
Well, why don't you hire some spotters?
I couldn't kill anyone. I just couldn't. I don't even have a gun.
Well, you got a lot of courage coming out in the open this way.
What can I do? You can't hide from a hunter, not a real one. I don't have enough money to make a disappearance.
Well, since it's your own defense, I should think...
No, I've made up my mind about that. This whole thing is wrong, this whole system. When I had my victim in the sights, I saw how easily I could... Oh, let's forget it. I'm glad you talked to me. At least it'll pass the time. It's been a lovely dinner. Just lovely.
Well, I'm glad you liked it. I usually stop at this little place when I'm in New York.
Do you come in often?
Oh, on business. I'm in clothing, you know. What do you do?
Oh, I'm an actress. Well, that's a laugh. I'm not really an actress. I'd like to be an actress, but none of the producers seem to see it that way.
How old are you?
22. I've only been in New York for a year.
You know, you're
You're really being very foolish just sitting out in the open that way. Why, you're a hunter. Could come along and just pump a bullet into you.
I know, but somehow I feel safe with you.
Oh. Say, Janet, would you like to go to the gladiatorials with me tonight? We got about 20 minutes. We'd only miss the opening numbers.
Well, I suppose so. Might as well, huh? Eat, drink, and be merry.
I'm a little disappointed.
Why?
Oh, I thought the New York gladiatorials would be something special. It's about the same as Cleveland. Historical events, swordsmen and netmen, duels with sabers and foil.
Isn't there any difference?
Well, the duel with the death is the same in Cleveland as it is in New York.
You know, that's funny. I used to think that gladiatorials were very exciting. Now they just make me a little sick.
Well, you can get tired of the best of shows. Frankly, I think it was a mistake starting to televise the gladiatorials. It cut down on the box office for one thing, and for another, it just isn't the same as being right there in the stadium, you know?
No, it isn't.
Well, you want to stay for the second half? Let me see. They got bullfighting, lion fighting, bow and arrow, and dueling on the high wire.
No, I've had about enough.
All right. Shall I take you home?
Would you please? Sit down. I'll fix you a drink.
Janet.
What?
You're crying, aren't you?
Oh, no, not really. It's just the thought that any minute from anywhere a bullet can come crashing into me. It makes me feel so soft and helpless.
You are soft. Oh, Janet.
You're leaving New York soon?
I suppose so. Convention's only lasting another day.
I'll be sorry to see you go. Send roses to my funeral.
Janet.
What?
Janet, I don't want you to be killed.
There's not anything you can do about it, is there?
Janet, I love you.
Oh, Stan.
What is it? Please, darling, please.
But you can't love me. I'm a victim. I won't live long enough to...
You won't be killed, Janet. Listen to me, Janet, darling. I'm your hunter.
Are you going to kill me?
Don't be ridiculous. Darling, I'm going to marry you.
Oh, Stan, my darling. Oh, the waiting. I've been so frightened.
It's all over. Think what a story it'll make for our kids, huh?
Darling.
How I came to murder you and left marrying you.
Oh, Stan, kiss me. I think I'd better have a cigarette.
Let's start packing.
No, wait. You haven't asked if I love you.
What?
You haven't admired my cigarette lighter.
What are you talking about?
It's a lovely lighter, isn't it? With a small hole in the bottom. Just large enough for a .38 caliber bullet.
No, don't.
I'm not being funny, darling.
But Janet, I love you. I told you I love you. What's the matter with you?
I don't love you, Stanton. I am a good actress, aren't I? Even though the producers don't think so.
You knew all along.
Yes, of course. Don't reach for that. Yes, darling. Well, now I can join the Tens Club.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine. X-1 has brought you The Seventh Victim, a story from the pages of Galaxy written by Robert Sheckley and adapted for radio by Ernest Kenoy. Featured in the cast, Lawson Zerbe as Freeline, Terry Keane as Janet, his killer, Frank Maxwell as the cab driver, Ian Martin as Emmanuel Gale of the Emotional Catharsis Bureau, Irv West as Freeline Spotter, and Arthur Hughes as his business partner. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Kenneth McGregor and is an NBC Radio Network production.
Strange future, isn't it? June 9th, 1957, X-1 on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Thanks for making us a part of your day. Thank this station. Support their advertisers if you would, please. You can find our programs available through my webpage, classicradio.stream, where you can stream our shows on demand, learn more about classic radio collecting, find our social media, find our links to other podcast applications, and you can send me a copy if you want to. Would love to have that. And tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite station.